Hello and welcome to week 3 of my Beachcombing Blanket crochet along. I'm Eleonora, the designer behind Coastal Crochet, and all the details about this blanket can be found over on my blog, Coastal Crochet, and the links are in the description below. I've broken the tutorial down into smaller segments, so if you want help with the entire square, do follow the tutorials in order, but otherwise I've titled each tutorial to correspond with the round that it's there to accompany. And remember to have the written pattern with you as you work through the rounds. And I hope you find the tutorials helpful. And in round 11 it tells us to join yarn F to any corner chain space, and we've done this on previous squares. So just insert your hook into any corner chain space and bring through yarn F. And then it says to make 3 chain, and this counts as the first treble US double crochet stitch of this side. And then it tells us to work 1 treble US double crochet, 2 chain, and then 2 treble US double crochet, all into the same corner chain space. It's 1, and that's 2. So we've created our first corner. And now round 11 is a simple round of treble US double crochet stitches. So all we're doing is working 1 treble or 1 US double crochet into each stitch around. And then into the corners we're working 2 treble US double crochet, 2 chain, and then 2 further treble US double crochet. And on each side, as you can see me doing here, is just 1 treble US double crochet into each stitch. And do that around to the end. And here we are at the end of round 11. I did a slip stitch to the top of that beginning 3 chain, and we fastened off, ready to go on to round 12. Moving on to round 12, it tells us to join yarn D into any corner chain space. So insert your hook, join yarn D, and then it tells us to make 3 chain. And this 3 chain counts as 1 double crochet, US single crochet, plus 2 chain. So this first chain here will be where we slip stitch into at the end of the round. You might want to put a stitch marker into that chain. And so then if you look at the written pattern, it tells us to do 1 double crochet or US single crochet into the same corner chain space. And we've created our first corner by doing this. And now if you look at the pattern, it says to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Double crochet is a US single crochet. So that's 1 and that's 2. It now tells us to do 1 bobble with yarn G in the next stitch. So if you look at the abbreviations in your written pattern and go to bobble, it will explain how to do that, and I can show you that now. So to work 1 bobble in yarn G, you let your main yarn go. So let yarn D, or the yarn you're working with, go, and then join with the contrasting colour, in this case that's yarn G, by placing it yarn over hook. So in the instructions in the pattern with bobble, it says complete all the following in the same stitch. So with the contrasting colour, yarn over hook, so that's what we've done. We've placed that contrasting colour over the hook. Might need to secure it. At the moment it's loose, so just secure it with your finger. And now insert your hook into the stitch, it's the next stitch along, and then it's yarn over hook and pull the contrasting yarn through to the front, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops, and then stop there. And you repeat from star 4 times. So go back to where the star is, yarn over hook, insert hook into the same stitch, yarn over hook, pull contrasting colour through to the front, yarn over hook and pull through 2 loops. So we repeated that once, got to repeat it 4 times in total. So back to star, yarn over hook, insert hook into the stitch, yarn over hook, pull contrasting yarn through to the front, yarn over hook and pull through 2 loops. We've repeated it twice, got 2 more to do. Go back to star, yarn over hook, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull contrasting colour through to the front, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. We've repeated 3 times. We now got one more repeat. Yarn over hook, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull contrasting colour through to the front, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And now having done that, you should now have 5 contrasting coloured loops on the hook and 1 main colour. And as you can see here, that's exactly what I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in yarn G and 1 in yarn D. And now what we do is we let the contrasting colour go and then get your main colour yarn, so yarn D, the colour of the first loop, and then it's yarn over hook and pull through all the loops on the hook. And then it's a good idea just to pull the contrasting colour a little bit tight, because that then helps to protrude the bobble forward. And now that is one bobble complete. But what we're going to be doing, the bobble goes to the front of the work, so it's coming towards you, and then we're going to work around this contrasting colour yarn as we crochet the next stitches, so that it's encased behind the work and then it's ready to make our next bobble. So now we go back to the pattern, and after where it says 1 bobble with yarn G in next stitch, that's what we've just done, it now says 1 double crochet, that's US single crochet, in each of the next 4 stitches. And so there's the next stitch. Insert your hook into there, and remember we're going to be crocheting around the contrasting colour as we work these double crochet stitches, and try and do this first stitch as tight as you can, because then it will help your bobble to protrude forwards and to the front, and you want it to be quite raised. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. And I've crocheted around that contrasting colour, and again give it a little bit of a pull, and there you can see that's my first bobble. Nice protruding bobble. So if we look at the pattern, after those 4 double crochet US single crochet stitches, it now says to do 1 bobble with yarn G in the next stitch. So we've gone around this contrasting colour, which is yarn G, so now it's really nice and ready in position to make this next bobble. So we let the main colour go, let that one go behind the work, just let it fall away because you don't want to be crocheting around that. And then with your contrasting colour, so if you go back to where the bobble instruction is in the abbreviations list, it says to complete all the following in the same stitch. So with contrasting colour, yarn over hook, insert your hook into the stitch, the next stitch in this case, yarn over and pull contrasting colour through to the front, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then repeat from start 4 more times. So yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, pull through 2. That's repeated once. Yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We've repeated that twice. Yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We've repeated it 3 times. Our final repeat now. Yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, bring the yarn through to the front, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And now we should have 5 contrasting colour loops on the hook and 1 main colour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's the 1. Let your contrasting colour go, then grab your main colour yarn from behind, and then yarn over with that and pull through all the loops on the hook, and that's the second bobble made. Remember, give it a nice little tug here with the contrasting colour, and then when we go on now to do our next stitches, remember that first stitch is tight to really help the bobble protrude. And if you look at the written pattern in round 12, we have that work in brackets. So where it says 1 double crochet in each of next 4 stitches, 1 bobble with yarn G in next stitch, it tells us to do that 4 times. So go back to the start of the brackets, and now it's 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. But remember to encase that contrasting colour yarn around the stitches. and do this first stitch nice and tight and push the bobble through to the front. Really helps to protrude it. That's 1 double crochet, US single crochet, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4, and then hold your bobble, give it a nice tug with that contrasting colour, and there you can see we have 2 nice neat protruding bobbles. And so now it's another bobble, 1 bobble with yarn G in the next stitch. So let your main colour go, grab the contrasting colour, and then make a bobble just like we have done the previous 2 times. So do all of this in the same stitch. Until you have the 5 contrasting loops on the hook and then the main colour. Let your contrasting colour go. Grab your main colour from behind, yarn over, pull through all the loops on the hook, give it a little tug, and then it's 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. This first stitch nice and tight, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Hold the bobble, give that contrasting colour a little tug, and there you can see we now have 3 bobbles. And so repeat everything in the brackets 4 times in total. So now we're making our next bobble. So I've just done everything in the brackets 4 times, and we should now have 5 bobbles on our first side. And if you look at the pattern, it now tells us to do 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Remember to continue encasing that contrasting coloured yarn around your stitches, and do that first one after the bobble very tight. That's 1 and that's 2. Hold the bobble, give that contrasting colour a little tug, and there we are at the end of the first side. And then it tells us to do 1 double crochet, US single crochet, 2 chain, and then another double crochet, US single crochet in the corner chain space. So that's 1, 2 chain, and then another double crochet, US single crochet. And as you can see, I'm continuing to crochet around that contrasting colour yarn. And if you look behind, you can see it's just being carried invisibly along behind the work. And sometimes the bobbles need a little bit of a push to help them forward. And so now, if you look at the pattern, it tells us to repeat from star 3 times. So go back to the star, and you can see it says 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. We're on to our next side, and then it tells us to make another bobble. So exactly the same as what we did on our first side. Repeat all of that around 3 times. So I'm just on my final repeat of the final side, just done my last bobble, and I've got 1 double crochet, US single crochet to do in each of the next 2 stitches. And then it says to end final repeat at star star, and that's exactly where I am now. So now if you look, it says to do a slip stitch in the first chain, that's the first chain of that beginning 3 chain that we made, and work a slip stitch into that chain to complete the round. And we don't fasten off, so leave the yarn D attached, but I'll just show you. This is what the end of round 12 looks like. We should have 27 stitches on each side, which includes those 5 bobbles. So lovely fishing buoy effect. And so we go on to round 13. And so on to round 13. And round 13 is a simple round of half treble US half double crochet stitches. So we start with 2 chain, and that counts as our first stitch, our first half treble US half double crochet stitch. And if you look at the pattern, it tells us to do 1 half treble US half double crochet, 2 chain, and another half treble US half double crochet all into the same corner chain space. We've created our first corner there, and now it's 1 half treble in each stitch to the end of the side. That's 1, 2. I will just show you what we do when you get to the bobble. 1, 2, 3, because the bobble looks a bit smaller, but there's the stitch just above the bobble, so just pay attention to make sure that you do crochet into that stitch which sits directly above the bobble. There you go, and then just carry on 1 half treble US half double crochet in each stitch around, and in the corner chain spaces we're just working 1 half treble, 2 chain, 1 half treble, and continue all the way around to the end. And there we go, got to the end of round 13. So now we slip stitch the top of the beginning 2 chain to join the round, and then we fasten off. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Thank you so much for watching. The subsequent rounds are in a separate tutorial, all available on my YouTube channel.